the space stuff, it actually came from a conversation that Deo and I, where's Deo? Yeah, there he is. So we were coming back from Deo's parents' place in Long Island, and Deo asked me, like, what am I going to do after PayPal? And I said, well, I thought maybe there'd be something philanthropic that could be done in space that would get the public more excited about space travel, and in particular, sending people to Mars. And I said, but I'm sure NASA's got that covered, and so I'll go look on the NASA website for when are we going to Mars, because of course it should be on the website, like, we're going to Mars in this year and this is how we're going to do it. But there was nothing at all about people going to Mars. I was like, I just don't understand why there's nothing about people going to Mars. Because if you look at the literature in the 70s, it was all about, well, we went to the moon, now we're going to go to Mars.
Right.
And so what happened? And there was the space shuttle, and the space shuttle turned out to be a really big mistake. And it could barely get to low Earth orbit. Forget about Moon or Mars or anything like that. And so I thought, well, geez, maybe I can do something that's going to get the public excited about Mars, and that will generate congressional support, which will turn into funding for NASA to go do this.
Ever wondered why Elon Musk is so obsessed with Mars? In the next 10 minutes, we're going to talk about SpaceX's mission to the Red Planet. We'll look at Musk's timeline, the things about Earth that worry him, and the crazy technologies they're working on right now to try and colonize Mars. It's pretty wild stuff. And we'll get into the debate around his plans too. Like, what do the experts really think about whether this could actually happen? Elon Musk, the tech billionaire known for his ambitious projects, was on a mission. He wanted to find out about NASA's plans for Mars colonization. But when he opened up NASA's website, he was in for a shock. There was nothing. No plans, no timelines, not even a mention of sending people to Mars. Musk couldn't believe it. It's like he'd walked into a bakery expecting to find bread, only to find empty shelves. As Musk dug deeper, his frustration grew. He saw that NASA was focused on the Space Shuttle program. Now, the Space Shuttle was cool and all, but Musk thought it was a mistake. He said it could barely get to low Earth orbit. That's like having a car that can only drive to the end of your street when you're trying to cross the country. Musk's disbelief turned into a realization. If NASA wasn't going to do it, maybe he had to step up. So in 2001, Musk decided to give it a shot. He flew to Russia to try and buy some rockets. Yeah, you heard that right. But it wasn't that simple. The Russians wanted way too much money, and they weren't exactly rolling out the welcome mat. After a few trips back and forth to Russia, Musk had another realization. He said, there's got to be a better way to solve this rocket problem. This was the moment that sparked the creation of SpaceX in 2002. Musk believed he could make rockets cheaper. He was so convinced, he wouldn't even let his friends invest at first. He said, I thought I'd rather lose my own money. That's some serious commitment right there. But why didn't NASA have any Mars plans? Well, they were busy with other stuff. The Space Shuttle and the International Space Station were taking up all their time and money. It's like when you're so focused on your day job that you forget about your big dreams. But Musk's Mars obsession was just beginning. He wasn't about to let a little thing like no one's ever done this before stop him. No, for Elon Musk, this was just the start of a much bigger adventure. While Musk was dreaming big, experts were shaking their heads. 1 million people on Mars in just 20 years? It sounded impossible. But what if the naysayers were missing something crucial? Elon Musk believes we've got a small window to save our species, and Mars is the key. He's worried about a whole list of potential disasters: climate change, nuclear war, engineered viruses that could wipe out humanity if we don't have a backup plan. That's why Musk is pushing so hard to get people to Mars. He sees it as our plan B, and he thinks we need to do it fast, like really fast. Musk's latest statements suggest he believes we could have a Martian city up and running in about 20 years, with a self-sustaining civilization within 30 years. When experts hear these timelines, they pretty much lose their minds. Robert Zubrin, an aerospace engineer, thinks colonization is more of a decades-long process, not something you can knock out in a couple of decades. But Musk isn't letting the skeptics slow him down. SpaceX has been developing technology at a breakneck pace. Their Starship, a nearly 400-foot reusable rocket, is designed to ferry humans and cargo to Mars. This beast is supposed to carry 100 passengers at a time, making trips every 2 years when Earth and Mars align just right. SpaceX engineers are already tackling the nitty-gritty of survival on Mars. In 2018, they were discussing how to harvest ice for water and picking out the best spots for a colony. It's a massive undertaking, considering the harsh Martian environment. So how soon does SpaceX actually plan to land humans on Mars? Well, Musk has talked about sending the first humans as early as 2026. Now, those dates might seem optimistic, but that's just how Musk operates. He sets these crazy goals to push his teams to work faster. But here's the thing. Getting to Mars is only half the battle. Once we're there, we've got a whole new set of challenges to face. How do you build a city where the air itself can kill you? That's the question we're going to tackle next. Elon Musk's vision for Mars is ambitious. He wants to terraform the entire planet. But Mars isn't exactly welcoming. With an average temperature of minus 80 degrees Fahrenheit, mostly carbon dioxide air, extreme temperature swings, and radiation everywhere, it's like trying to build a city in the most hostile place you can imagine. The gap between our current capabilities and what we need for Mars is huge. We're talking about creating a livable environment from scratch, making air, growing food, and protecting ourselves from deadly radiation. But Musk and SpaceX aren't backing down. They're planning small dome habitats to start, like bubbles of Earth on Mars. These domes would protect the first colonists and use local Martian resources for construction. For food, SpaceX is looking at building greenhouses with hydroponics. They've even partnered with Impossible Foods to explore plant-based protein sources. So your Martian menu might include some high-tech veggies and lab-grown meat. Musk's most out-there idea: using thermonuclear explosions to create artificial suns. The goal is to warm up the planet and make it more livable. It sounds like science fiction, but that's how Musk operates. SpaceX's industrial design team is already working on what a Martian city might look like, considering both function and form. Every aspect of life on Mars needs to be engineered from the ground up. So, how does Musk plan to make Mars livable? It's a mix of cutting-edge technology, creative problem-solving, and some pretty wild ideas. From protective domes to space greenhouses, it's about creating a whole new world for humans. But even with all this technology, one crucial element remains, and that's where things get really interesting. Imagine leaving everything you've ever known behind: your family, your friends, your favorite coffee shop. Now imagine doing that forever. That's the reality facing potential Mars colonists. So how does SpaceX plan to handle the human side of this cosmic endeavor? Living on Mars presents unique challenges. You're talking about a small group of people, millions of miles from home, facing intense isolation and confinement. SpaceX knows this is a big deal. They're thinking hard about how to keep people sane and happy when they're so far from Earth. SpaceX is being pretty picky about who they'll send. They want folks who are smart, physically fit, and can handle being isolated for long periods without losing it. It's a tough selection process because the stakes are so high. But here's where it gets really interesting. Elon Musk has big plans for the future of Mars. He's talked about enhancing humans to be better suited for Martian life. Yeah, you heard that right. It's like he's planning to create a new branch of the human family tree. Musk also has some pretty wild ideas about governing this new Martian society. He's interested in testing out new ways of making decisions, and he's even thinking about using his social media platform X to experiment with these ideas. But let's not forget, the first Mars missions are going to be tough. It's going to be a while before we see Martian families and schools. Now, you might be wondering how all these Mars colonists are going to keep in touch with Earth. That's where Starlink comes in. Musk's satellite internet service is going to be crucial for Mars colonists to stay connected with home. Imagine trying to FaceTime your family when you're on another planet. That's what Starlink is aiming to make possible. As we stand on the brink of this new frontier, it's clear that SpaceX's Mars mission is about more than just rockets and technology. It's about reimagining what it means to be human in a whole new world. SpaceX is pushing us towards Mars with an urgency that's hard to ignore. They're not just dreaming about it, they're making moves to get there fast. It's like they've got this internal clock ticking away, reminding them that humanity's future isn't guaranteed unless we branch out. But it makes you wonder, are we really ready to live on another planet? I mean, we're talking about a place where everything from the air to the ground is trying to kill us. It's a whole new ballgame for what it means to be human. Elon Musk sees it differently, though. He's all about securing our future as a species, no matter what. And SpaceX, they're right there with him, pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible. So what do you think? Is Mars our backup plan, our next big adventure, or both? Whatever it is, SpaceX is definitely changing the game when it comes to how we see our future in space. It's exciting, it's scary, and it's happening right now. Are we ready for it?